Greetings all, this is MDawg, and thank you for joining me today. We're going to just enjoy some coffee together and also talk about this beautiful place you see in front of us, Quarry Lake, which earlier today a preview trailer was released in RF4 News, taking a look at the new Quarry Lake. So of course we'll be taking a look at that preview video here in just a moment, the new Quarry Lake trailer. First, a word about my channel here. Of course, on YouTube, we are still rolling along. I haven't had as much time lately to stream over on Twitch, and that's just the reality for me right now, based on my work schedule and just everything we have going on here. Not that I won't at all. I certainly will look for opportunities to stream and to fish on Twitch with you guys, but definitely have found that right now at least there's just not quite as much time as there had been. I also haven't had the motivation to play RF4 as much. Been taking a nice little break other than the times that I have streamed, which is usually a good thing for me. After a couple months or whatever, I typically come back and am able to enjoy RF4 a lot more all over again. So we'll see how that goes. One thing I am in the process of doing, though, even though I'm not necessarily feeling motivated to play my main account, I believe I am working up towards starting a new leveling series for RF4. And I've already been sort of bouncing that around for the last few days in my head and thinking about what we might do this time around. By the way, if you have any fun ideas, let me know. I think I've basically decided that for the most part it's going to be a pretty standard, straight ahead leveling series. We may get a little creative at a couple points, and this news about Quarry Lake has certainly, if anything, furthered my excitement about having a leveling guide, because the goal could be getting to Quarry Lake, and then seeing what new Quarry Lake is like for lower level players. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on. I've watched this preview video. I mean, it's just like a minute long. It's very short. We'll watch it together. We'll also look at the picture they released showing the fish at Quarry Lake. It's pretty easy to identify what's going on with the fish that are added based on the picture, I think. Just as a reminder, if you haven't been around for many of these preview video then releases of either new bodies of water or changes to current bodies of water, pretty much the trend, the pattern has been, when they do the preview video, we're very close to release. So today's October 4th. If it's going to follow the same trend that it has in past preview videos, we would probably expect the release later this week, since it is a Monday after all, or next week. So normally within 1 to 2 weeks from the preview video. I think that has typically been the trend, the case. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that. All right, so let me go ahead and get myself out of the way here. And we do have this preview video we're going to watch, but first let's just take a look at this. So, of course, I'm making an assumption here that these are the new fish species available at Kuori. It looks like a complete list. This close to releasing it, why would you hold back? Do I not have it maximized? There we go. Why would you hold back some of the species? I mean, I guess you could, but you've got this, this art in the magazine. I have a feeling this is a final list. If this is the first time you've seen it, I'm trying to give you a moment to kind of look and see what's on here. I will tell you that So to me, there's four fish to be excited about that's been added in terms of like fun to catch, worth decent silver, and can be decent sized and stuff. So you've got the brown trout. Brown trout's never been at Quarry, right? You've got rainbow trout, which we'll come back to that in the video. I'm not the biggest expert, but isn't it a little strange when you think about Quarry Lake and then you think about brown trout and rainbow trout? Well, I think the video gives you a little clue at why that's happening. And then these two fish here. And honestly, these just look like whitefish. I don't know if they'll be the same whitefish from Ladoga or if they'll call them something different. But that's what it looks like to me. I'm interested to hear if you all think anything different. But besides that, everything else looks either the same or little fish that frankly just doesn't get it going for me. I'm assuming this one is a Vendus. My favorite fish at Quarry, of course, the Savan trout has always been my like favorite at Quarry. I mean, as everyone, I love how the Quarry char look and all that, and the char is great as well. But the Savan trout and the Quarry char are kind of the specific species that you look forward to catching at Quarry often, especially if you're doing the trolling thing. So I'm excited about having some more fish at Quarry, and I think it's a good time for us to transition to watching the video. The one thing I will say is Quarry has always filled a pretty specific purpose for me when I think about the leveling process of RF4. And so the only thing I get a little nervous about when we talk about changing Quarry is I don't want that purpose to suddenly not be viable. By the way, on the fish list, no catfish. That's kind of important because of what level you get to Quarry. If there were like traditional catfish in RF4, like the big boys, that would be no bueno. I don't really see anything that's going to be a problem. So it just depends on kind of what all the changes end up looking like and what the implications are. Let's pause this. I guess we will hear the music. All right. I don't know. I'm not sure how much I'm going to stop the video while we're going. I guess we'll pause it a little bit. I watched it one time, and honestly, it's so quick, I couldn't even figure out, what I even wanted to say about it. I think we're going to have to wait till we can get in there, but let's just see what it's looking like. Let me go back just a tick here. So this is kind of at nighttime. It basically looks like someone is walking into town from up here, right? You don't see the water yet. What you're seeing is the town. From somewhere up here or whatever, you're coming down. The cafe has been moved. You'll see the cafe pop up down here on the left, really close to the dock. Some of the other stuff looks like it's in similar positions, but the whole middle is just much more wide open. There's the weather change, you can see it, or the daytime change, you can see it so much better. Quarry's always been such a beautiful place. It looks like okay, let's look at this. It looks like, because one of the important things is that we still need to have the key over here. It looks like it is still there, although, does it look a little different? Yeah, see, I can't tell. It looks to me like it's a little different. The boat dock is still in the same position, and I'm not getting a clear enough picture to tell, but part of me is like, wait, don't mess with the key. That is too iconic of a fishing spot. The other thing is, from this position, shouldn't we be able to see the island? Is the island gone? So we're kind of walking here. Yeah, you can see the island immediately. Okay, do you see this little nub of a tree? This is something else that has me worried. And this is just nostalgia. But when I first came to Kuori, and I didn't have spin setups yet to troll, so I had to do some bottom fishing at Kuori before I could get my trolling going. And I think that's probably, unless you're very much in the know and planning for it, that's probably the experience for a lot of people. But you can go stand on that island, and back in the day it was even better. Well, I don't know if it was better, but it was probably a little more consistent, and certainly people tested it a lot more. I'm just not sure how many people test it these days. But you could go and you could fish for char during the day and burbot at night. And it would be sort of different locations off the island where you could find the active spots. So you'd have to kind of check them and moved around, but you did all this with bottom fishing, right? Well, it looks to me like that island is gone. I think what we have now, and we're going to see it in the video, I think what we have now is a much smaller island with this nub tree. And I'm not 100% sure it's in the exact same location. The angle looks different to me. So the question will be, can we get off the boat on that island anymore? Or is it so small now that you can't get off? I can't really tell what direction this is coming from or looking at. Obviously, it's the edge of the lake. And I don't really see anything significant. I mean, unless you're telling me that we can be over here. I mean, this would kind of be an interesting place to fish from if you had some like big gear trying to like get out to a deep hole or something, but I just don't know how that would connect to the rest of the lake. All right, so this is one of the corners of the lake. You know, if you look at real-time Kuori, there certainly are these corners, and you know, especially down here, if you're ever trying to catch the typical like crucian gibel roach, or it's actually way down there. I'm not going to run all the way down there, but or even like common carp and stuff. I don't think this is way down there though. This looks more like one of the other corners. But you know, again, things have changed, so I'm not sure. But some of the more like, you know, mosquito type fishing. Yeah, this might just be. Is it like a redone that corner? I'm really not sure. I guess we'll just have to wait till it comes out. Or some of you might be able to recognize things that gives it away. Okay, so I don't think we have any clue on where this spot is. Wait, you know, maybe we do. Maybe that's why this frame is right before that frame. Is it possible that right there is the waterfall in the background? I mean, this looks like it could be it looks like a swing set in some ways, but maybe it's like the front of a little wooden bridge. I do think that is the waterfall back there. So wherever this corner is, this is where the waterfall is. This is where, what I'm going to assume is if you're really trying to hit the brown trout or the rainbow trout, or if anyone ever decided to put fly fishing in Russian Fishing 4, I'm thinking this is where it's at. So wherever this creek is and whatever part of the lake this creek feeds into, if it's going to make logical sense, at least in my mind, that's where the species like the rainbows and the brown trout would be. We didn't really get a very good view of this, or it was quick, I guess. Yeah, see, we're like looking through. This is like that end of the wooden walkway or bridge or something. I think I was right on that. But anyway, there's the little spot, little waterfall. I mean, it's pretty. It's cool. I mean, Kuori has always been the most beautiful of maps. Clear water. It just is great. It's nice, sort of small to moderate size. It's so fun to troll. So adding some things like that could only be cool. All right, now we're getting into a different location. This could just be continuing, like once you're past the waterfall, you continue in this direction. I'm not really sure, but there's a lot of land that it looks like you could fish from over here. To me, this, at least a lot of the different, there's a feature in the water. That's going to be worth checking out for spots. There's a lot of changes, more changes that I was anticipating, at least when I think about what it seems like is going on in this trailer. That's an interesting little sort of hill up here above the map, it looks like. All right, there's the island. This is definitely the island, and I think this is the only island now. You can see the towns right over there to the right. It looks, I don't think that's another island. I think that behind it is just the shore, comes out to a little point, which it kind of does that now, right? I mean, to me, it looks like we're looking at a slightly different version of that point there, which does, face the island. Although now, at least, unless the depth perception is really weird, it looks like it might be a little closer. So we've got a little interesting tree with some crazy branches on there. I mean, it looks like you theoretically could still get on this island. So my concerns may be for not. I mean, it's possible that you can still get off here and fish, and hopefully it's still close to some of the deeper holes in the lake and still makes sense to fish there. The tree looks awesome. I'll give you that. This might be in about the same position it is now. Just to me, it looks a little bit smaller. We still have a wall back here. Again, if you look at the island now, there's that cliff face wall going on behind that. And by the way, this is where the deepest part of Kuori is. So, at times when you're thinking about burbot fishing and even, jigging for char or trying to catch char on bottom feeders, it has made sense to have this island out here. And again, back in the day, more often you would cast like this way for char during the day. Sometimes other directions, but a lot of times it was kind of this way and one of these angles off here. And then burbot is what would move around a lot, down here, same spot as the char, even to the east, different directions this way. So we'll see. I like the way it's rotating around this island. I mean, this is really giving us the first sort of perspective view, at least of this part of the lake. We'll just let it roll here to see. It's still a pretty good cliff back there. I think it's still going to be pretty deep back there. That last view where we're coming around, this gives us a pretty wide view of the lake, but I'm not sure it's a whole lot of info. All right, and now we're flying back over. This is town. So the tackle shop looks to me like it's in pretty much the same position still. So in the preview pictures, this is what came out, it's been months ago now, I think, right? When they first talked about remaking Kuori, they released some preview pictures. There was one picture of a building that was kind of off by its lonesome. I felt like at least the pictures implied it was like farther left from here. But that could have just been a deceiving picture, I don't know. But I remember us talking about what is this building? Boy, that fish market looks pretty cool. Down here, just with the fish out. Most of the buildings to me look very much the same. Okay, so there's the campsite. The campsite looks a little more secluded now. Currently, the campsite is down here. In fact, right off the campsite has traditionally been a very nice spot to fish for burbot. And the campsite is also down here where it gets into the pike, reeds, and all that, where, again, crucian gibel, roach, common carp sometimes, where all those fish are often found. Much shallower part of Kuori. But I really, I'm not sure that I can tell from this if camp is in the exact same spot. The lake is over here. Perhaps town. Yeah, it looks like town is straight ahead. So if the lake is on our right and town is straight ahead, then I think camp is going to be in a somewhat similar position. But it definitely looks different, right? Oh man, now we're getting a good view. So there's where the hill goes up towards the lake. It seems like it's pretty similarly placed. And I don't see any other buildings out here. I mean, this is where we were speculating from the pictures. Like, this building here, could that be the one that was kind of away from town from the pictures. I'm not sure, but there's the Quarry Lake trailer. Let's go back to news. Make sure I'm not going crazy here. All right, here's the pictures. Yeah, when was this? This was back on August 10th. And it's October almost 10th, so 2 months ago, basically. Is this the one? I think this is the picture. This is the picture where it's like, okay, what is this building? So there's town, right? Is it the blue picture? Yeah, it's that one. So it's not that far away from town. You can see it in the background. But if you're looking at town, it's the farthest to the left, and it is a little bit secluded. Now, it could be just decoration. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a building that we can interact with. There was some speculation like, is this a new house? Or they're introducing a new player house? There was always the feeling that the house we got at Mosquito wouldn't be the only one. But you never know. I mean, I don't know that that's been confirmed. It's been talked about a lot. Yeah, and this looks consistent. You see the key, the rocks, just the shape of it have changed, but it still does jut out right here next to the dock. So theoretically, it's still a good place to fish. And then there is the rainbow trout, which it's just, it's a different. I think it's just a different version of the rainbow trout from what we have now at Yama, which will be fun. It'll be fun, I think, to be able to catch rainbows and browns and all that. I'm just really curious, like, how active are they really going to be at Kuori? Given the level that Kuori falls in, the fact that it's a lake, what's that really going to look like? That's my question. When did the autumn sale end? Is it over now? You kind of imagine the autumn sale ending right before Kuori comes out, perhaps. From September 11th to... Oh, it ended the 20th. Yeah, it's been over. It's been done. Been done. And there are the fish. Okay, well, that's Kuori update. Overall, I feel like I'm excited. All of the remakes have gone fairly well. Now, the Mosquito remake was controversial because it was like so drastic, right? And I don't think that the spots for catching trophies and stuff at Mosquito have quite been the same. But remember, we had Old Mosquito for just so many years and definitely got drilled down on like the best ways to hit some of those hot spots. There have been some nice hot spots. I mean, we've seen like trophy ides coming out pretty good at New Mosquito. There have been some nice spots to catch crucian gibbles. If you're trying to hit trophies on those. In general, I think the New Mosquito has been healthy in terms of a fishing place for new players. But it's never maybe had those spots that started to help older players feel like, oh yeah, I could, we're going to have just as good of memories from here moving forward as we did Old Mosquito. Old Mosquito just had some spots where, you would throw night crawlers on or certain tiny little boilies or, specific natural bait. And you could just go through so many trophies. So, I mean, I think the Mosquito update was a little bit controversial. Some people maybe don't like it. Some people, I would put myself in this camp, would say, I really like New Mosquito, but I wonder if New Mosquito couldn't have just been an additional map and not replaced Old Mosquito. I would have liked to have had both, to be frank. So, for what it's worth. But I do like New Mosquito. And then the Winding Rivulet remake, I think, has been pretty much positive. I haven't heard people complaining about the Winding Rivulet remake, but it was also so minor. If anything, it just made it a little wider in spots. It updated the buildings, and it changed some of the fishing, but it didn't feel like it took away any of the like traditional hot spots, at least not significantly that I've seen or heard about. It's still a place that I primarily avoid. I don't spend a lot of time at winding unless I'm, trying to catch bleak for, bait fish, or when else do I go to winding? Sometimes, there'll be a good spot if you're just trying to build up your inventory of crayfish or mussels and that kind of stuff. Chub trophies are fun at winding, and they still are post the update. So we'll see how Quarry goes. In my mind, from watching the video, what I would predict is that Quarry will be in between Mosquito and Winding. It's a more significant update than Winding was, but it's obviously not a complete overhaul like Mosquito. So this will be fun. This will be to see where does this fall in comparison. Okay, I've talked long enough about this speculative 1-minute trailer. I do think it's likely that we'll see this new update out in the wild here in the next few days to week and a half or so. I will not be shocked if it hits later this week, and if it doesn't, I would expect it next week. If that doesn't happen, then we'll have a new guidepost, I guess, for future videos. I'm just basing it on it. It seems to me that once we get the flyover video, we're close, traditionally. So we'll see. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. I think we're going to get a new leveling series soon. It depends on when the Kuori update comes out. I mean, I will want to spend some time there, probably on my main account, just kind of messing around and exploring and learning new stuff once it does release. But I'm hoping to get that leveling series started soon. But thanks for watching. Hope you all are having a great day and week, and I will talk to you soon. Peace out.